How you guys doing? I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today we are doing the review of the Dualtron Thunder 2 after 1 year plus. I think it's been about a year and maybe 2 months. A year and 2 months. But I just wanted to give you guys some feedback after owning this thing, what I like, what I dislike, what I hope that could be improved on the next version of the Dualtron Thunder 2. This is one of the best lineup for Dualtron. I don't really care much about the Dualtron X or the Dualtron X Limited or Dualtron Storm. I do like the Storm. I like the X just a little bit because of that suspension, but it's too big, way too oversized. But I think the Dualtron Thunder series is probably the best solid electric scooter that Dualtron have ever made, which is why most people own it. They love it. So I just wanted to give you guys my feedback of owning this for about a year and 2 months or 3 months. When I first got this electric scooter, this was one of the first electric scooter that really wowed me and never stopped. Because after owning something after a while, you kind of start thinking, maybe I need a little bit more power. I need a little bit. This scooter, anytime that I ride it, always scares me a little bit because sometimes it just feels like it's faster. Like it's going even faster. It feels more aggressive. It's crazy. Even with the throttle mapper that I installed in this thing, sometimes when I ride it, it's like it's ready to go, like take off. One of the things that I really dislike about the Dualtron Thunder 2, and this issue is with most of the Dualtron, whether it's the Dualtron Victor, Dualtron Luxury, Dualtron Spider, Dualtron Storm, all those ones that have that clamp that you can see right there. You guys know we hate this. We hate it. We dislike it. A lot of us have invested so much money trying to fix the Dualtron problem. This is an issue that Dualtron should have resolved in this Thunder 2, which would have made this scooter to be one of the best in the market. Top speed 60 miles. You can actually hit 60 miles per hour on this electric scooter. I think that's what it was advertised. I think it was advertised at 62. But you can actually hit 60, which is 2 miles off. Is not bad, trust me. There's a lot of people that say that the scooter is gonna go up to 75 miles, but it never even got to 55. But this thing actually hits 60, and when I say hit 60, it hits 60. It's not hitting 60 and then start slowing down. It's hitting 60 and keeping on there, and it keeps going. I've done it, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down and all that stuff. You guys are looking at it right now. You're like, why is your electric scooter in blankets? Like, why are they wrapped up? So right now in my area is getting really cold, and the underneath of the Dualtron and most of this electric scooter is with metal, and it gets really cold. I just wrap them up to keep it a little bit warm, but before I wrapped it up, the bottom of it was freezing because it's metal, so it was cold, and they say that's not really good for your battery. When it gets this cold, it's good to kind of wrap them up a bit just to keep it a little bit warm. It's not gonna drop to negative something degrees in where I live, but just a way to be precautious on keeping my battery in a good condition. You guys already know most of the stuff that I did not like about this electric scooter. I've tried multiple ways to fix. Some of them I was able to fix it, some I was not. One of them will be the wobble. When I first got the electric scooter, the Dualtron Thunder 2, it had a high speed wobble. So when it gets to about 45 miles per hour, it will start wobbling, and that was really scary. I will always let off because I couldn't go any faster. That is why I installed the steering dampener that you see there, and I also have another one on the other side, which you have 2 steering damper. That resolved the issue. There's no more I'm going 60 on this thing. There's no more speed wobble, which is good. The clamp system still couldn't find a way to fix it. There's a couple of people that have installed like aftermarket clamps from AliExpress, but I wasn't able to get that. I know a few of you have that. The only thing I do not like about that, it screws into the scooter and you cannot fold it. Anytime that you want to fold it, you have to then loosen up the bolts. And if you do that for a period of time, it's going to lose strength, or you have to keep locked tight on there all the time. But I didn't want that because you lose the portability of this thing. It means every time that you have to put it in your car, transport it to different places, you now have to unscrew, and then I didn't want to do any of that. So I kept the regular clamp, which you fold and tighten and all that stuff. But like I said, this is one of the things I really dislike about the Dualtron is that clamp. If they make another scooter and they don't change that clamp into something like the Segway GT2 has or the Ryan has, I'm not buying it. I'm being very honest with you guys because you guys already know on this my channel, I'm very honest and I keep it 100%. I'm not trying to get any endorsement deal. If they don't want to work with me, any other company that don't want to work with me, they don't have to work with me. I really don't care. But what I'm not going to do is not give you guys an honest feedback because I'm trying to work with a company. I want to make sure I'm giving you guys an honest feedback. That if they don't replace that on the next scooter that they release, I'm not buying it. I don't care what it is. I don't care how fast it goes. I don't know. I don't care about other stuff. That is a serious safety area that needs to be solid. When this thing, the steam, when it's completely solid, man, you feel so comfortable. That is why when I was on the GT2, I was feeling so comfortable and I couldn't tell why. It's because there's no movement. There's no play whatsoever. It's stable as you can be. So that's one of the things that I really dislike about the Dualtron Thunder 2. And I wish they get that stuff fixed. Now, the other thing will be the tires that it came with. I don't have that big of a dislike for it. It's just that it's not as good as the one that I have on there right now, which was recommended by my boy V. I always give him his credit because give credit to who credit is due. But I really like those tires. They are more comfortable. With this type of electric scooters, you cannot really give a honest feedback about it until you have ridden it for a while. That's why you can actually tell if you really dislike it, if it's really worth the price. And we're going to talk about if it's worth the price in a few minutes. Another thing that I did not like was also the original handlebars that the Dualtron come with. I don't like those. I never do. Matter of fact, let me take them out. I'm talking about this thing. You guys already know about it. I'm talking about this. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit, man. Let me see if we can focus on it real quick. I never liked these things. It's cool that it folds. I do like the fact that it folds. And comes out. The reason why I don't like this thing is, okay, when you push it in and it folds and you lock this clamp, there will always still be some type of movement on here. There will always be some type of small movement. I don't know why. I never liked that. I never liked it at all. There's another thing that I don't like about the Dualtron Thunder 2, and this is mostly for most of the Dualtrons. I hope they do change that because it's also really short. Like this are pretty short the way that it is. I don't understand because it makes it more compact, which I appreciate that, but something better if you're gonna be charging people like 4K. That's not good enough. The steam was also pretty short. I didn't like how short it is, so I had to raise it up a little bit to make it higher, and it's more comfortable because it was like right at my stomach. I'm pretty tall. The steam will be on my stomach, and then it just looked like a dinosaur riding a scooter. It's crazy. But that's one of the things that I did not like. Another thing that I really did dislike about the Dualtron Thunder 2 will be the fender. And I hope that they do something about this because it's actually something that can be easily resolved. The fender that you're looking at right there, when you're trying to change the tires and you take out the arm, the suspension arm that's right there. This is the suspension arm. When you're changing the tire, they have some screws that are back here that holds onto the fender. The annoying thing is you had to find a little screw to get underneath here to take that bolt out. I believe that, I know they're trying to, because of design or whatever, I think those screws should be outside. Just like you can see the screw down. Let me pan this down a little bit. There's a screw right here. There's two screws that holds onto the brake caliper area. They should have did the same thing. You see how it kind of goes in so you don't see that much of it. They should do the same thing with this fender, but it should be only one bolt. I don't think it's necessary to actually do two bolts to hold on to these things. Well, they can do two bolts, but I just think one should be enough. One strong bolt, so there's no need for drilling two holes on here. So one strong bolt should be able to hold on to this. It will give us access to be able to take this thing off, unscrew it outside easily, to remove this. I spend more time trying to take this back thing out than this whole changing tire And that's ridiculous because it's just this thin. I did come up with some ways to kind of make that easy, which is actually drilling a hole from here to the outside and changing that. That's on the other side that I did that. Some of these issues that I have with these things, it's not that big of a deal until you try to replace the tire. And then it becomes a big deal. But on day-to-day basis, you're just riding. This is not an issue. It's not a problem. It's something you can deal with. Not a big deal. Another thing I really don't like is these things. See these little things right here? Man, you're going to lose this. You're going to lose it. I don't know how else they can improve on this, but they should try to improve on this because they always fall and you lose it. And these are actually important because it will help if your scooter ever falls to prevent any damage from going on the boat. The nuts that are right there holding it. What are other things? Let's talk about the footrest area. I like the footrest design area. It does look cool, but I did not like the fact that there was a hole in the middle. And every time I was riding, I will always be having issue with my foot going into that hole, which is why I use this. I just created this, fabricated, and use it to cover that area so my foot does not go into that hole anymore, which is perfect. So some of these issues that I've had with this electric scooter, I've resolved it myself. If I can resolve it myself, I know Dualtron can do better to improve on this, which is why I'm, showing it to you guys. But other than that, this scooter is probably one of the best electric scooter that you can get in the market for the money. I think the Dualtron Thunder 2 is one of the most practical, portable electric scooter that you can get in the market today. That's high performance, quality that you can get in the market. Price, I think that price is still a little bit too high with some of the stuff that needs to be fixed. Just think about it right now. This steering dampener that I have here, the steering dampener is $500. If they fix this clamp to make this more solid, you really don't need that steering dampener. Now, mind you, I'm a more skilled rider right now. If I want, I can ride without no steering dampener. I know how to control this scooter without a steering dampener. But you have to understand one thing. If you are just riding, doesn't matter how fast you're going, and you're just like, oh yeah, let me check something real quick. Any mistake that you make, this thing already not being so strongly connected to this, you are going to fall and it's going to be terrible. The steering dampener comes in handy because of the sensitive throttle that this thing has. Once you hit it, it's ready to go. If you hit it by mistake, the steering dampener actually helps to correct to keep you going straight or wherever you're focused on. I have seen this happen, and it actually happened on my Dualtron Compact. And I was like, hey, how come, the steering didn't swing to the left and I would have fallen off? But it kept straight and I was able to have that few seconds to grab onto the brake and stop. This is why these things are so important. This will help to keep the steering a little bit more balanced and give you more control. That's why these things are worth it. But I think if you have a more stable stuff, you actually don't need this, or you don't need two of them, which I end up having two. This is what I'm talking about. This $500, if you deduct it from the $4,200 that this thing costs, that will bring this whole scooter down to about $3,800. In real life, I think that I'm saying real life, no, in fake life. But honestly, I think that the Dualtron Thunder 2 is worth the price. After all these modifications, right off the bat, I think that the price of this should be $3,700. That's my price. That's the price point for it. It should not be around $4K. It should be $3,700, high $3,800, and that's it. Should not be 40 something. Okay, that's why I even see the nami bun and all that stuff now that are charging $4,800 and all that stuff, and I still don't think they are worth that price because I still see people complaining about some of the issues that they have had it with the nami. The reason why people like the nami so much is because of Michael Shea, which is the maker of that electric scooter, and he's very, very good at communicating with his customers. He's very good at it. He will listen. He will try to make improvements on the scooter if you have any issues with it, which is always the best selling option for these electric scooters. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you have any other questions about the Dualtron Thunder 2 and my experience with it, feel free to comment below. I will do my best to answer those questions. But today, just wanted to give you guys a feedback as to my experience with the Dualtron Thunder 2 after owning it for 1 year. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. We are almost at 1K, and I appreciate you of all the support. We'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace out.